What up, YouTube? It's your boy Anthony back with another video. Happy Friday. You made it to the end of the week. I'm outside today, switching it up, enjoying nature. It's been hot here, so if you want to get outside and do a video like this, you got to come out early. So it's early, the birds are chirping, but we here. It's a beautiful day. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. In this one, I want to talk about of course, we chilling, we talking, unscripted, but I want to talk about the business aspect of photography. Now, if you are doing photography as a business, or if you are looking to turn photography into a business, I think a lot of times people that are getting into it and people that jumped into it don't realize how much of photography is actual photography and how much of it is business. People getting into it and people that have jumped into it think that doing photography full time and earning a living off of photography, that you're doing photography, you are shooting all the time, and that's what it is. And that could not be any further from the truth. You are actually shooting on average only 10 to 20% of the time, and that other 80 to 90% is all business stuff. So the mistake that a lot of people make, they get into photography thinking like, oh, I have perfected my craft at photography. I'm good at taking pictures. My pictures are amazing. I know how to work my camera. I got all the latest and greatest gear that the YouTuber said that I need. I'm ready to jump into this. Let's do it. And they ultimately fail as being a photographer as a business because they think that all it is just going out and taking pictures. And again, that just isn't the case at all. And this really is any business, really, for the most part. I mean, most businesses that you're going to start, there's going to be way more business that you're doing and way more customer service that you're doing and problem mitigation than actual photography or whatever it is, whatever sector, whatever business you're into. So to put it into perspective, let me pull up a spreadsheet here. And a few weeks ago, I did a video on how to price photography. I'll link that in this video. So to put it into perspective, so a portrait session that I do, the portrait session itself is 45 minutes. Okay, so it's 45 minutes of shoot time. For that portrait session, from start to finish, and we're talking, confirming the booking, drafting the contract, sending the contract for signing, the consultation call, processing the payment, location scouting, selecting gear, packing gear, loading gear, driving to the session, doing the session, driving from the session, coming home, unloading the pictures, all of that stuff from start to finish. On average, I am putting in 378 minutes or 6.3 hours into a 45-minute session. So that means out of 378 minutes that I'm putting into a portrait session, I'm only shooting for 45 minutes. So that's a little more than 10%, maybe 10, somewhere between 10 and 15% of that entire time for that portrait session am I spending actually shooting. The rest is doing other things. And you're not going to have shoots every single day. Well, no, you could have shoots every single day. You're not going to be shooting, if you're working an 8-hour day, right? So as a self-employed person, I still put in 8 hours every day, regardless of whether it's shooting, whether it's doing business related stuff, whether it's marketing, whatever the case may be. For all of my business, I'm working 8 hours a day. So if you're working 40 hours a week, you're not going to be shooting 40 hours a week. Now, if you get to a point where like you're a hot shot and you're a big time photographer and people are knocking your door down to book you, then yeah, I mean, you might be doing that much shooting and then you're offloading everything else and you're having other people do all of your editing and everything else. That's possible. But for the average photographer, you're not going to be shooting every day, 8 hours a day. So you're going to be doing other things, and those other things are going to be business management. So whether that's your accounting stuff, or, figuring out pricing for something, looking at your metrics to see where you are for the month. If you need to, work harder to book more sessions. You're going to be doing marketing type things, whether that's creating your marketing material, sending marketing material, going out and marketing, trying to get new business. You're going to be doing location scouting just for potential shoots in the future. For me here, there's hair on me because my girlfriend's hair is always all over the place. Thank you, babe. You're going to be doing location scouting. For me here, a lot of places require permits, so I'm investigating, permits and that sort of thing. You're going to be doing calls with potential clients. You're going to be updating your website. You're going to be responding to emails. There's so many things that go into being a photographer that really aren't photography related at all. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they get into this game, is that they think they just have to know how to shoot. They have to know how to take pictures of people. And it's like, you have to know how to run a business. If you want to be successful as a full-time photographer where your livelihood depends on your photography, you have to know how to run a business. And that's the best advice that I give to people that ask me just about business stuff in general, because again, I am a photographer, but I do have another business. When people ask me in general, you have to know how to run a business, because if you can't run a business, unless you want to pay someone to run your business for you, which is not practical when you're just getting into the game, because you're probably not going to be making enough money to do that. If you don't know how to run a business, you will fail. I obviously I can't say 100% of the time, but probably 99.9% of the time, if you start a business and you don't know how to run a business, you're going to fail, because having a business is not as simple and easy as a lot of people think that it is. There is a lot that goes into it, especially as a small business. If it's just you, there's so much that goes into it that if you don't understand the fundamentals of running a business first, you're going to fail. And you can see this because there's photographers that I personally know, and they're photographers that I've seen that are not the greatest photographers. Their images are not the best that I've ever seen. Their editing skills is not the best that I've ever seen. There's things that I personally think that they can improve on from a photography aspect, but they are very, very successful photographers who make a lot of money from photography because they understand the business aspect of photography and they understand how to work with people. They are great at working with people, marketing, selling, and running a business. And because of that, they make a lot of money doing photography. And I also know a handful of photographers, and I have seen photographers that their work is amazing. Way better than my work. I'm like striving to have my work as good as them, but they're struggling to book clients. They're not making any money because they focus so much on the photography part of it that they didn't even take into account the business aspect. And they just figured, if I'm putting out great work, if I'm a great photographer, if I take great pictures and I put that work out there, that people are just going to come. And that's just not the way it is. Unfortunately, if it were that easy, everybody would have a business and everybody would be rich if it was that easy. It's like doing great work and putting that great work out there, having a website, a portfolio with that great work and putting it out there. That's not enough. You have to understand the business part of it. So if you're looking to get into this game, or if you're in this game, please, please, please do your research. Take business classes or do your research on the business side of things. Understand how to run a business before you jump into it. Now, I also want to talk about what ultimately happens. And I am realizing now, because it's getting lighter, that this video might be a little overexposed. Hopefully I can fix that in post. Sorry. Where was I going? So when you take photography and you turn it into a business, I want to talk about the importance of still doing personal projects, still doing shoots of things that you want to do, and why that's important. If you love photography, I would hope that you love photography, and that's why you would want to start a business and get into it. If you love photography and you turn it into a business, you can absolutely kill your love and passion for photography so fast. Because like I just said, and everything I just said, there's so much business and so much other stuff with photography that you can start to hate photography if you don't have an avenue to do things that keeps that passion thriving. And again, that's any business that you do. It's one of the hardest things is to take a passion and turn it into a business and not destroy your love for whatever that thing is. So if you're into photography and you turn it into a business, one of the most important things that you can do as a photographer is to continue to do your own personal projects. Do shoots to where you can do what you want to do. Because here's the reality, right? And people, you'll see people on YouTube or people on the forums that's like, you know, you're the photographer, you know, you tell your client how it's going to be, you need to be in charge. That's bull. Okay. To a degree, yes, obviously as a photographer, when I'm doing a shoot, I have to, you know, take charge of everything. But the reality is your clients a lot of times want something specific, and you have to provide your clients with what it is they're looking for. Now, obviously, you have some control to be able to meet those needs based off of your style, your taste, your flavor. Sprinkle your seasoning onto it. Don't be giving them no bland chicken. But at the end of the day, you can't always do something way in left field with your clients because they're expecting the product that you've advertised on your website. And if you have a bunch of far left things out there, then that's cool. Obviously, that's what you're going to deliver to your client. But most photographers, you know, you're going to have, you know, just your standard typical work, nothing crazy. You know what? Let me fix this because I might not be able to fix this in post. So let me just bring that ISO down there a little bit. This is what you get on Fridays. We're just talking. All right, here we go. Back in focus. Okay, so yeah, you might not be able to just do things that are in far left field. So you kind of become restricted to doing the same thing. One of the best things that you can do as a photographer in business is to be consistent, right? You have a look that you've presented in your portfolio. You have to be able to deliver that look because ultimately that's what people are hiring you for. If they look at your website or look at your portfolio, they see your work, they're like, I love that. I want pictures like that. That's the type of pictures that they're expecting to get. You can't have this over here and then deliver something in far left field. So it does get repetitive. You're kind of doing the same thing. Typically, you're getting the same type of client. So you're doing the same thing over and over. Now, there's a benefit to that in that you get really good at that. And that's great. You know, you can do it with very little effort. And when you're doing this for a business, the more you can streamline things, the better. So that's a great thing. But the problem is after a while, you get tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And you start to get burnt out and you start to lose interest in even wanting to pick the camera up and do it. So that's why it's important to do your personal projects, do your TFP shoots where you can bring in a model and you can get creative and you can do something that you want to do. Maybe you want to, you know, introduce some different things into your portfolio. You're typically not going to be able to try these new things with a paying client unless they're up for it, which is not very often, especially if you're charging really good money for your photography. You're not going to be able to really try new things with a paying client. So you need to do these side shoots, these side personal projects to try those new things to get that body of work that you then can introduce on your website or your portfolio. And then you can start bringing that into your workflow for your clients. But what this really does is it just allows you to be creative. It allows you to have fun without the pressure of having to deliver something to a client. It keeps that passion alive because you have two separate aspects of your photography. You have the part that makes you money, but then you have the part that keeps you happy to where you can do your own thing and have fun with it. So always have that personal stuff, or, you know, have a different type of shoot. Me, I love doing landscape stuff. You know, I would never want to do landscape professionally because I'm not that good at it. And I don't know if I'm that dedicated. But yeah, I love going out and doing landscape stuff. I love getting up super early in the morning, going out by myself, just enjoying nature, doing landscape. That's what keeps the passion alive for me. That and doing side shoots, either with TFP models or with my lady, just doing photo stuff. It keeps that passion alive. So that way, when I'm doing the business stuff, it's like business is business. It's like at the end of the day, I can hang the business hat up. I can put my Buckeyes cap on and I can go do my thing and have a good time with it. So if you're getting into business, into photography as a business, definitely have your personal stuff that you can do so that you don't get burnt out. Because the problem with getting burnt out is if you fall out of love with photography, the passion goes away. Every time you have a client, even though you're making money, your heart's not in it. And when you are dealing with people, if your heart's not in it, the money is irrelevant because you won't want to be there. You won't connect with your client. You won't be able to have a good time. And your clients are going to feed off of your energy. If they can tell that you're not in it, they will feel that, and then they're not going to be in it. And it's going to be hard to get great photos when your clients aren't into the session. One of the main things that I focus on when I'm at a session is connecting with the client first. That is the most important thing. Photography is second, because if I connect with the client and they resonate with me somehow, I find some ground that we have in common and I connect with them on a personal level, I'm going to get great images because I've built that trust. And I use that loosely. It's not like they would trust me with their life, but I've built that trust. So now if I ask them to do something, they do it without hesitation. Now when I'm talking to them, we're connecting on a personal level. So when I say something that makes them laugh, it's genuine because we have that connection. And that's very important. If you lose the passion, you lose that love for photography, it makes it really difficult to do that. Because think about any time you've been somewhere, you're somewhere that you don't want to be. Even if it's something that you normally enjoy, if you don't want to be there, you don't have a good time. And people can see that. People can feel that. So it's very important to keep that passion. And the best way to do that is to do personal stuff or find some other kind of way. Whatever you have to do, just understand that the minute you turn a passion into a business, hey, chill out, phone. Jesus. The minute you, sorry, my phone is going crazy here. The minute that I don't even know where I was even going. Yeah, I don't know. Keep your passion. Don't let it die. That's the gist of that. So, man, it's been cool chilling with y'all and talking on this beautiful Friday. Hopefully, you've been staying safe and doing the right things and enjoying the world for what it is, because that's important. So keep doing that. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy these Friday videos, shameless plug, I do have a podcast called the F16 Photography Podcast that is always linked in the description. I just started talking about this in my videos last week. Still haven't posted another podcast. I need to get better at posting podcasts. I do enjoy them because it's basically this, but it could be a longer format, and yeah, they're a little bit easier. But I haven't done one. Maybe I'll do one today, or I'll start next week. But if you like this kind of content, I do have a photography podcast that is basically this. I'm just talking about things, so you could check that out. As always, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you rocking with your boys, showing me support, showing me love. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Drop a comment down. Let me know if you've had any challenges, what challenges you've had, or what struggles you faced having a photography business, and how did you overcome them? I would love to know what you've seen. And I think if there's people that are watching this video that are just getting into photography or thinking about starting photography as a business, it would be really helpful for them to be able to see some of the pitfalls or struggles that you faced and how you overcame them. So Please drop those down in the comments below. That is all I have for you in this video. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care, my friends. See, I'm bright again. That is the struggle with doing stuff in natural light. The light just keeps changing, and it gets bright, 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 bright. But it's nice out here, though. I'm enjoying it, but I'm hungry. So I'm gonna go home and eat, because I need breakfast. I get hangry. I need to eat. So that is a wrap. Appreciate you guys. Peace.